right, 1957, not as magical as 1956 in the annals of tops and the proliferation of the cards made. I think they kind of blew their wad in 56. I do have some 57 non sports cards in my collection. We'll run through those in a bit, but right now, folks, episode 73 of the Basement Tapes is dedicated to one of my favorite things, and that is vintage football cards. 1957 top set for football. We talked about baseball previously. I have here in my collection 54 of these cards. 54, 54, 54. This was a big year for Topps football. It's an interesting design with a portrait paired with a kind of an action pose. And there are some true legends in this set for sure. So let's get the Beckett OPG here. Like I said, what did I say? I have of those 54 of those bad boys. So Beckett OPG tells us there's 154 cards, but there's 161 total cards, variations. That's a spoiler alert on that. 1957 Topps football set contains 154 standard size cards of NFL players. Cards were issued in penny, nickel, and cello packs. Horizontally designed fronts have a close-up photo with player name on the left and an in-action pose with position and team name to the right. Both have solid color backgrounds. The card backs were printed in red and black on gray cardstock. Backs are also divided in two with statistical information on one side and a cartoon on the other. The rookie cards of Johnny Unitas, Bart Starr, and Paul Hornung are included in this set. Other notable rookie cards in this set are Raymond Berry, Dick Night Train Lane, Tommy McDonald, and Earl Morrall. The second series, 89 through 154, is generally more difficult to obtain than the first series. A number of cards, 22 from the second series, are much easier to find than the other 44, making those double prints. DP, parentheses. It's thought that the Johnny Unitas rookie card is among the 22 DPs. An unnumbered checklist card was also issued with this set. The checklist card was printed in red, yellow, blue, or in red, white, and blue. Neither variety currently is recognized as having any additional premium value above the price listed below. There also were produced several 3-card advertising panels consisting of the card fronts of 3 players with ad copy on the reverse side of the top 2 cards and a player's card back at the bottom. The complete set price below refers to the 154 card minus the unnumbered checklist. So 161 total cards, 6482 average value, $10,436 total value. This is a $3,000 to $5,000 set for those 154 cards. It's an expensive set. Of course, Star and United. I don't know who would be number 3 there. Maybe it is Paul Hornung. A lot of people don't remember Paul Hornung these days, but he was the Golden Boy, famous for commercials. He was a gambler as well. Spent some time on the one long maintenance day. I believe it was a whole season he got suspended. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't know who's worth more, Unitas or Star. It looks like Star, Unitas, and then Hornung. So top 3 cards I have. Apparently I have one of those top 3 cards, which is pretty darn cool of me. Let's go to TCDB and learn more about this. The teams, you say, are the Baltimore Colts, the Chicago Bears, Chicago Cardinals, Cleveland Browns, Detroit Lions, Green Bay Packers, Los Angeles Rams, New York Giants, Philadelphia Eagles, Pittsburgh Steelers, San Francisco 49ers, and Washington Redskins. Around this time, football was starting to grow in our nation's consciousness, I guess, and start to televise games. I know there was a Giants and a Colts championship game. I want to say maybe 58. Maybe I'm wrong there, but people were starting to get jiggy about football, and baseball, of course, was still king, but people were starting to catch on to this football thing, and it was starting to gain momentum. And we see that with cards and all that fun stuff. The errors and variations are there are 4 different 4. That's your entire hand minus your thumb. Bill Sherman cards, 58A through D. Error, no team or position on front. Back, but no team listed on front. Back, Rams on front, and halfback Rams on front. So no team or position. Then he had his position back, and then he had a back dash Rams, and then he had halfback Rams. So I'm not quite sure what was going on there. Tops, what you were thinking, why we had to do it 4 times, but it's there. And of course, the other 2 cards that show up are the no numbered checklists, which are pretty cool looking cards. Let me pop one of those up. Pretty cool looking cards there. There's checklists, and we hadn't seen a lot of checklists up to that point in baseball or football. So really fun seeing that. Let's get to the Hall of Famers. There are 38 Hall of Famers in here, all sorts of fun stuff like Gino Marchetti. Let's see if we can find Norm Van Brocklin's in there, Bobby Lane, Art Donovan, Yale Larry, Frank Gifford, Ray Berry, as we said, Lenny Moore, Joe Perry from Aerosmith, Johnny Unitas, and Paul Hornung. Just a lot of wonderful, wonderful football legends from back in the we could say primal days of football, but these are really the people that kind of carried, no pun intended, but kind of carried the ball closer to the goal line and brought football closer to America's heart. Rookies, 42 of those, including Pete Retzlaff. He is I believe he's a Hall of Famer for the Eagles, as they say here. But all sorts of rookies, of course. We talked about Unitas, Hornung, and Bart Starr. That's a pretty big deal if you're going to, become a vintage football collector. This is a pretty big deal of a set. I think we would all agree. Yeah, we all agree. Comments on this. There is Roy Boy, Connecticut. He, of course, is going on about how he loaded his images via footballcardgallery.com, a wonderful resource for football card viewing. Card number 136, according to PHFJR 62. I guess that's PHF Junior 62. Card number 136, Chuck Ulrich, Chicago Cardinals, is not a Steeler. Card number 137, Lin Shan Noi, is the Steeler. Card not listed. Okay, that is settled now. I think we have a quorum. Inserts and rookie, blah, blah, blah. There is proofs out there. There's inserts, the checklists, and there are sales sheets / promos. Trivia: the set was released in 2 series. The second series, 89 through 144, is more difficult to obtain than the first series. Thank you, TCDB. Packaging: red, white, and blue football. Wow, beautiful 1-cent packs with a pseudo Heisman pose. Topps Pro Football bubble gum, and then the 5-cent pack. We have a little bit more flavor there, a little yellow thrown in. Topps Pro Football bubblegum 5-cent pack. There is a cello pack. No secrets here, folks. You're going to get Torgy Torgerson on the top of that cello pack. And then there is more packs there. So cello packs were kind of interesting. I haven't given too much thought. I witnessed them out in the wild back in the day many times. And now, as a 56-year-old, I'm sitting here live wondering why we even had them. There's no mystery to it. So anyway, let's get to the gallery. Now, these cards are beautiful, I think. I think they're definitely a step up from the 56 cards. We mentioned that they are horizontal. We mentioned that there is a portrait as well as an action photo. And, of course, action is posed action because we could not take football player pictures in game situations because it was the film and the technology just probably wasn't there for color. The problem with these cards, and I have witnessed it, I have experienced it, and I have lived with it. People tended to cut these cards in half and turn them into 2 different cards. And as we heard from Beckett OPG, the back following along with the front 2 different pictures, as we know, the back kind of follows along with that design, so it makes it even easier for you to cut that card in half and treat it like 2 different cards. Although obviously the second part of that card would not be numbered. But anyway, that's me digressing. I don't know whether there is a aggressing, but I just digressed. So let's talk about some of these football. Look at Gino Marchetti, man. He will kick your tail. Anyway, let's get in the middle here. Let's go to number 6, which takes us to card 51. Bill McPeak. Bill McPeak is card 51. He is an end with the Pittsburgh Steelers. His home is in Pittsburgh, PA. He went to Pitt. He was a 9-year pro at this point, 6'1", 215 pounds, age 31. A real, not really a drunk uncle, but there's potential there. One of the cleverest veterans in the game today. Bill splits his time between playing and coaching. Last season, he did such a magnificent job on defense that he was elected to the all-pro team. Fast and agile, Bill is never lured out of position and gives the team an airtight pass defense. In college, he was an All-American twice. So it says here, there was a coach. How cool is that we had player coaches in the late 50s? Bill is both star and an assistant coach for the Steelers. Setting an example, he says. So he's got a helmet and a whistle there. Between seasons, he scouts the nation for new talent. So anyway, Alan Amici's there. Gordy Salto, man, what a great card that is. Both pictures are great there. So this is a really cool set. And I'm a big fan of the old football cards. And we're looking at the Bill Sherman errors here and variations, which is truly fascinating. But anyway, big fan of the old cards. These aren't my favorite set, but it just gets better and better from Topps, I think, as we go through the end of the 50s and the 60s. Look at Bobby Walston right there, receiving that ball. And Johnny Olszewski, man, good stuff. I need to dim the lights and perhaps run a bath and view these under the bubbles later on, because I cannot tell you how excited I am about looking at some of these cards. So go get some of these 1957 Topps football cards, and you will thank me. You might even write me a letter saying thank you, John, for the 1957 Topps football turn on. So that's it. 57 Topps episode 73 is finished, and I am completely out of